Welcome back to Chicago Independent Television. Chicagoans took to the streets on the 5th anniversary of the Iraq War. Afterwards, it appeared that the crowd would go home, but, as we'll see in this next segment, that's not what happened.
On the evening of March 20th, 2003, they arrested over 800 of us over here in revenge for taking Lakeshore Drive at the start of this illegal war.
On the 5th anniversary of the start of the Iraq War, voices for peace, justice, impeachment, and freedom gathered for a permitted march from downtown Chicago to a park on the north side. The march dissipated once it got to the park, but the voices that had gathered refused to go home. Thousands of people marched north along Michigan Avenue. It was loud, boisterous, and peaceful. But the ending was a cliffhanger. Some of the protesters didn't want to stop, and they faced off with authorities who were trying to clear the streets. It looked like a scuffle might break out, and the Chicago police were not backing down. The protesters chanted, sang, and danced. Officers in riot gear and on horses looked on as protesters occupied the street. After 15 to 20 minutes, police attempted to clear them out. But unexpectedly, a red-headed young woman refused to move. Police officers tried to negotiate with her for about 10 minutes. Eventually, she relinquished, and it looked as though the crowd would break up, but that's not what happened. After the gathering, the protesters took off on another march down the sidewalk, with police following them all the way back to Michigan Avenue. They made it to Chicagoan, Michigan, near Water Tower Place, where the crowd stopped and disrupted traffic at an intersection. The group then marched in a circle around the intersection, confounding the police who tried to keep the street clear. Protesters took off for the Loop, heading for a local TV station to protest outside while the news was being broadcast. Clearly, the police called ahead because the station had lowered a privacy curtain well before the group arrived.
And some of you may hear some noise in the background in the studio tonight. Some of the protesters from the march tonight in Chicago, on their way home, have stopped out in front of our studios on State Street, banging on a drum and chanting, and that's what the noise is about. Thanks, Chuck.
How fitting is it that the night ends on the steps of the Fourth Estate? when considering the role that the media has played in keeping this Iraq war going. It was a stunning exclamation point to a night of protest and resistance that proved what the people are capable of. Thanks, Chicago.
I'm Alejandro Molina, and you're watching Chicago Independent Television.
I see the soul of a nation, must be true because I've seen it on TV.
I am a soldier who survived the fear of facing Uncle Sam and saying, "Sir, no sir. I won't fight for lies. Forgive me, wounded soldier, for not being there to ease your pain. I'll try on this end to bring you home now."